Hi, it's Rich Tehrani with TMC. We're at Telecom Exchange 2016 in New York. Ray Lachance is with us. He's with ZenFi Networks. Ray, welcome.
Hi, Rich. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your company.
So ZenFi Networks is a New York-based network provider. We provide dark fiber throughout the region, focused on a new problem that's been emerging in the market. And it's really revolving around network densification for mobile operators.
So the fiber business obviously has been around for a while. There's been talk of saturation. However, you're seeing a different angle than most companies.
Yeah, that's right. You know, when we look at the legacy providers in the market, most of the networks that have been built were built to solve the enterprise, the data center problem, or the enterprise-to-enterprise problem for connectivity. And those are very sparse networks. When we look at the problem facing the mobile industry, where we have to move capacity to the edge, there's a new type of network that needs to be built. That network is called a front haul network. Most of the other guys, the other operators in the market, have built backhaul networks, and they've done this very well. It's a highly saturated market. The new piece of the network, the fiber to the antenna piece of the network, is called front haul, and that's really what our new business ZenFi is focused on solving.
So the challenge is that as urban areas become more dense, and we have higher capacity devices that demand more data, the challenge is for carriers, how do they serve all that data?
That's exactly it. And the mobile operators, because they can't get more spectrum to solve this problem, they have to solve it with splitting that spectrum up and creating smaller cell sites that are closer to the user. This gives them the ability to multiply capacity. So if you take a big cell site and split it into 4 different pieces and into 4 separate cell sites, each one of those cell sites will have the same capacity as the original central one. But you have to do that by putting antennas closer to users, like on lampposts at every intersection and on every floor of every office building. That's actually what we envision. Every one of those antennas requires a front haul network connection, and the best technology for doing that today is a fiber connection.
Awesome. Now, are you seeing that your customers are more focused on small cells or distributed antennas?
Yeah, so there's a real mix in the market. We've had a lot of experience doing both small cells and DAS systems. We've done well over 2,000 on outdoor light poles here in the city. Our management team has. So we think that small cells are the short-term solution. Ultimately, the industry is going to evolve to a technology called CRAN. And that means Cloud Radio Access Network. And once we move to a Cloud Radio Access Network model, it's going to require this front haul piece of the network that aggregates at base station hotels or distributed co-location facilities that ultimately backhaul back to a central core. That new type, that CRAN infrastructure, is the ultimate solution, and that's a combination of some of the DAS technologies and small cell technologies. And it's ultimately going to drive costs out of the market and allow us to provide pervasive connectivity with very high capacity.
That sounds great. So your primary customers, I would imagine, are carriers. Are there any other companies that would be potentially buying from you?
Yeah, so we're focused on the mobile network operators and the large carrier Wi-Fi deployments. I mean, whether it's DAS, small cell, remote radio head, or carrier Wi-Fi, it's not relevant to us. We create the front haul infrastructure. We find the space for the node, we find the space for the aggregation point, and we provide the fiber connectivity in between. And also we have to provide power at each of those points. So the obvious customers are the big mobile operators, the neutral hosts, and carrier Wi-Fi providers. However, the byproduct is, with our network, which is incredibly dense that we're building in this city, is we can do carrier wholesale business.
Oh, very cool. So is there anything else we should know before we close out?
Well, I think the most interesting thing is that we have a 4-year build plan, and we're building what we characterize as the densest highest capacity, most accessible network being built in the city today. Our network is being built in a way, our front haul network is being built in a way that it can be literally accessed at every single street corner and every single manhole that we transit through. That's very different than the other networks that have been built throughout the city. And Manhattan, for instance, has 3,300 intersections. We expect to have fiber capacity available at 2,800 of those intersections within the next 3 years.
Very cool. Well, I'm sure I speak for many of the people in the New York area that are going to thank you in advance for our much faster internet access.
Great. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it.